reason to be better than what I'm going to speak about. I want to thank, once again, I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank Mark, and I want to thank the staff of Elite FTS for pulling this off. You know, everybody that helped, that's on our team to market and promote this as well. I want to especially thank Casey and Rhonda for picking me up this morning because my car battery was dead. So there's nothing, no better feeling in the morning than when you wake up and your car doesn't start. Then your other car doesn't start either. You're thinking, oh, I'm supposed to be the first person to speak. So the aim of Elite FTS has always been and always will be to live, learn, and pass on. That's always going to mean something different to everybody. That's why it resonates so well. That's why we have the seminars, the education, everything that we have on the website. Live, to just define it in the simplest form from a performance and a coaching standpoint. And when it comes to performance and sport training, the reason why I'm not a presenter, I don't coach athletes. I never have. These guys are the experts. I've surrounded myself when it comes to people who coach athletes with people who know what they're doing. Not because I aspire to want to be able to do that, but I want to have the go-to people to go to that can help me with that. So I know very well what I don't know. And as coaches, I think that's a very simple concept that gets lost that you always need to keep in mind. Know what you don't know. All right, and in turn with that, know what you do know. And trust in that and execute it. Because it doesn't matter what you do know if you don't execute it. Because then all it is just worthless data in your head. So if you're a coach and you're working with athletes and all you know how to do are body weight squats and push-ups, well, you better know how to do them really, really good. And just do those to the best of your ability with every athlete making sure they're doing it exactly right every single time. Those two things will take you further than a concurrent program or a block program that's 52 weeks long and laid out with all these different exercises you don't know how to coach. So living as a coach and living in this environment and the landscape that we all work in, those are the two biggest components. Know what you don't know, execute what you do know. Learning, that's the only way you're ever going to get better. And it never stops. It actually should expedite as you get older because your base becomes bigger. So just because you graduate with a degree in exercise science or whatever it is, that does not mean you're done. That means you got a baseline. Buddy will be the first person to tell you he strives to learn more every single day. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he was the second strength coach ever hired. All right, so that's going to lead into the last part, which is passing on. When it comes to, I can go into a rant about this, and I'm trying to stop my brain because I could just go crazy right now.
No,
well, when it comes to passing on, people I've written about and I've spoke about, you plant seeds. And today there's so many people who are building a garden, they get the education, they throw the seeds down, and then they're standing there. Grow! Nothing's growing. I'm like, man, this is crap. Grow! And nothing's growing. And they're like, this is bull crap. Here I am, playing all, doing all this, and nothing's coming about from it, And I'm not, an illustration of this is a trainer who will see somebody doing something wrong in the gym, but they're not going to help them because they're not going to get paid for it. Now, how many times do you read this crap online? Where people are complaining, oh, I can't believe this girl asked me this question. This is what I do for a living. If she wants to ask me a question, maybe she needs to make an appointment. Or how many coaches won't step out when they see something wrong to help the kid or to help somebody else. When I grew up, if I was doing lat pull downs wrong, somebody came up and helped. Not arrogantly, but they're like, hey, would you like some advice? Yeah, pull your sternum up, do it. Now that shit don't happen. They're looking at the seed saying grow. Here's what they forget. And I'm not going to expect an answer, but I'll guarantee when he took that job, he wasn't making a whole hell of a lot of money. The very first job, the very first strength coaches didn't make shit. The very first personal trainers or trainers didn't make anything. The professions really didn't even exist. The personal training profession didn't exist when I was in college. I had to create an independent study based on exercise science and nutrition. So while people are standing there looking at those seeds saying grow, they got to remember somebody down here, or back here, back here, back here, 50 years ago planted some shit. That they're now over here climbing trees. Those are his trees. And the trees of the people that came 40, 50 years ago. Those seeds are what are being reaped today because you have a profession to be able to do this. So keeping that in mind when it comes to passing on, what are you doing to ensure the profession or even new professions are going to be there for people 20, 30 years from now? Don't forget the sacrifices that have been made, because there are people that are 60, 70 years old, never made a dime in this industry, but laid the foundation and the growth for what we are calling today personal trainers, sport performance coaches, and strength coaches. So it's our responsibility to be able to pass on for whatever reason. The older coaches will be able to remember distinctly who helped you, what they charge you. So you pass on, you give back, and you keep everything moving forward. With that in mind, I'd like to thank you again. I think I did do that in, I can't see the time, 10 minutes? And we're going to bring Buddy up next. Buddy, as well as most of the other, actually almost all the speakers, Chip I've known 2, maybe 3 years. The rest of those guys here I've known for 15, 17, more years than I think any of us really want to even say. And when it comes to being the real deal, this is the real deal. You're not getting people up here that just been in the field screwing around for a couple of years. You got people that have been around for 20 years. These are the best of the best is what you're dealing with. So the last words of advice I'm going to give is, Mark said, and was telling you if you have a question, ask. There is no such thing as a stupid question. And I know we're going to laugh, and you're going to say, yes, there are. Some of these guys have been with the Q&A 10 years ago, and I can't, if we all got together and counted how many times we had to answer, what can we do if you don't have a reverse hyper and a blue handbrakes? I would say it's in the thousands of times. So many times it gets frustrating. And you've all been asked in your profession the same questions over and over and over again. And you roll your eyes and you're like, you know what, just Google that shit. Go look it up. Whatever it is. And I'm just as guilty of this as everybody else. So this is a reminder to me and to all of you. When somebody asks you a question, there is no stupid question, first. Second, it may be the 9,000th time you've had that question asked to you, but it's the first time that person asked you. And the reason they didn't look it up, Google it, or anything else is because they want to know what you think about it. That's why they're asking you. That's not an inconvenience, guys. That's a freaking honor. So look at it for what it is and keep that in mind when somebody asks you a question as well as when you ask a question.